So, Mitch, when you look at all the new information and how it's laid out, I mean, there's a lot, as you mentioned, how it's alphabetical, and now there's sections that indicate what you can and cannot shop for. And certainly now there's this section that emphasizes the cost of the loan over time, which originators have never had to have that communication. But of course, many of you on the phone who have been Mortgage Coach subscribers have been having a similar dialogue. What do you think of this change, and how does that really impact originators now having to talk about long-term financial impact?
Well, I like the change, to tell you the truth. I think it's an important change because I think it's going to help consumers a great deal. The disclosure that you're referring to is meant to provide consumers with a better metric for understanding what their debt is costing them, and I think it will do just that. It gives them a better metric. You know, currently, the TIL disclosure focuses on the cost of credit based on the loan's contractual term, life of the loan, which can be 15 years or typically 30 years. But since so many consumers don't hold their mortgages, are not staying in their home through the term of the mortgage itself, they either sell, they refinance, usually within the first 5, 7 years, sometimes 9 years or so. What the CFPB said they found was that the payment disclosures based on the entire length of the loan didn't accurately really reflect the cost of credit for most consumers, for those that didn't stay in their home for the life of the loan itself and stay with that particular loan. And so they modified the existing TIL total payments disclosure to go ahead and reflect this total payments over 5 years rather than the life of the loan itself. And it makes a lot more sense, because most consumers don't really fully understand the concept of amortization. They don't know after the first 5 years how much principal they've actually paid off, how much interest they've paid off along those particular lines. They don't understand what the true cost of credit is. This will, in fact, give them a much better sense of what their loan is and what their true cost of credit is. Much better than the total payments over the life of the loan. They'll still get that information about the total payments over the life of the loan, though, because that will still end up being on the closing disclosure as well. So I think it's good, to tell you the truth. I think it's consumer friendly. I think it's going to, as all things, in this rule, it's going to take some getting used to. And this is a type of calculation, and this is a type of disclosure that has not been required of the industry before. And as I said, this rule is going to involve a lot of training, and training in this provision as well.
So for everybody who is on this call and you're a mortgage coach, you know that this is something we've been passionate about for 16 years. I've always felt that showing people the total cost of their loan over a time that they're likely to have the debt is the right way to get into debt, to have the transparency and the knowledge. This is just, to me, has been something that's been common sense for as long as there's been mortgage debt, for as long as people get into debt. To be able to compare that cost over time is just basic financial planning. So I'm a massive fan of this. I mean, I've dedicated my career to helping loan officers just do this because this is the right thing to do. It's good business. So we'll talk about it in more detail as this call goes on. But my message, and Mitch, I don't know if you agree, this is not something we should wait for. Getting in the habit of quoting rates and showing total cost over time, it's just good business practice. And as of next year, it's going to be a requirement.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I think it's a really good business practice. I think it's important to the consumer to fully understand what it is they're getting into and what the cost of their credit is. And I don't think we should wait to certainly get trained and learn how to disclose this properly, because come August 1st of 2015, as you said,